Hi guys, welcome back to 12 Days of Cathmas and to an eyeshadow palette declutter. I did one of these at the end of last year and people seem to really like it. Anyways, this is just your average end of the year makeup declutter. I think I have about 40-ish palettes here. These are all my eye and face palettes. If you are new here, I would love to have you subscribe. I'm doing 12 Days of Cathmas right now, so I have tons of fun videos coming your way. And I'm just gonna dive right in. First, I have the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Dark Magic palette from their Vault collection. I feel like I'm one of like 2 people on earth who actually likes this palette. Do I think it's the absolute best eyeshadow palette in the world? No. Do I think it's a unique color scheme that you can make some fun looks with? Yes. So I'm definitely keeping this one. And then here I have the Ami Hearts Beauty and Amy Loves Makeup. Or is it Amy Hearts Beauty and Amy Loves Makeup? I don't really remember. This is their collaboration palette. Definitely keeping this. I literally just got this. I think it's so beautiful. This is my Milani Soft and Sultry palette. 100% keeping this. I think this is such a good quality, cool toned and neutral eyeshadow palette. I love that it's drugstore. I like it's seriously such good quality. Honestly, this is one that I think I want to make a goal to use more. It doesn't look very used. I feel like I use it a lot, but I feel like this would be a good one to do like more tutorials and looks with. I love doing drugstore tutorials. So keeping that. Here I have my Makeup Revolution Iconic palette. So this is the Vitality, the Division, and then this is the Neutrals 2. So this one is a Modern Renaissance dupe, this one is a Subculture dupe, and this one is just kind of its own thing. I don't really think it's a dupe of anything. I think what I'm going to do is keep the 2 neutral ones and pass along the Subculture dupe. I don't reach for this very often, and I do like Makeup Revolution's formula. It's not a super pigmented formula, it's more of like a firm pressed formula, but it is very beautiful. Bleh. It is very buildable and it does blend well, and it's like a great palette for beginners, but I don't think it's great for these colors. I tend to prefer a more pigmented, colorful color, if that makes sense. So I really like using their neutrals palettes, especially for like drugstore tutorials and whatnot, but I don't really reach for the colorful one quite so often. So putting that in the discard pile. This is the Pixie Beauty Eye Reflection Shadow Palette in Natural Beauty. They sent me this in PR, which was super sweet because I'm so tiny. And it's this really pretty neutral, cool tone neutral palette. It is really similar to the Milani Soft and Sultry palette, but they're very different, and I feel like this has stronger shimmers than the Milani one and more shimmers than the Milani one, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this one as well. It's a really nice palette, and I just really appreciate being sent it. And I love having drugstore, like actual drugstore palettes around where I really like the formula, just because I feel like you can never do too many drugstore tutorials. Like I love doing drugstore looks. Norvina Volume 1 palette I'm keeping. And the ColourPop Bare Necessities palette, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. I'm just kidding. I absolutely adore this palette. I'm 100% keeping this. I think I'm gonna bring it home with me for Christmas break. I think it's so gorgeous. I'm just worried because like this shade is super soft, and what if it breaks on the airplane? We can always repress it. We'll see. But I love this palette so much. I think it's so gorgeous. It's like, I love it. These are the rest of my ColourPop palettes. So I have 7 of their 9-pan monochromatic palettes and 6 of their 12-pan palettes. I kind of love ColourPop if you're new here. So this is the Smoke Show palette, and to be honest, I don't love this as a palette on its own. I thought it was really hard to make individual looks with it. However, I like having it in my collection because I don't have these colors anywhere else in my collection, and it's going to be awesome to have it like reaching for if I want just like 1 or 2 gray shadows. I don't think this is one that I will pretty much ever use on its own. I wanted to do a 3 looks 1 palette with this like I do with most of the new palettes that I get, and I just couldn't even get like 1 look on this that didn't look bad on me. But I feel like this is one that like even just like pairing it with like just like a cool toned taupe shade, I could really get some nice looks out of it. I just don't like it on its own. The Ooh La La palette keeping. Honestly, I think I'm gonna keep all the monochrome ones. I really like them. They're like so cute to just have sitting on your desk, and I know that sounds stupid because like I don't even like this one that much. I love purple palettes, and it just like didn't really do it for me, but like they're just so cute. They look so cute sitting there. They're so cohesive and nice. Like this Just My Look palette. Have you ever seen a more adorable, affordable all green palette? I don't think so. This is the Strawberry Shake palette. This one's a little newer to my collection. I kind of picked it up on a whim, but I do actually really like this one. I think it's like, I like this color up here and like this more burgundy shade. There's some really cute shades in here. It's like neutral leaning, but still just like slightly colorful and fun, which I like. Okay, honestly, this is the Orangey Glad palette, and I got this over the summer, and I literally haven't touched it. Like, I couldn't get it open just now because it was untouched. I might toss this in a giveaway because I literally, like, I haven't even swatched it, and I'm like, it has one of those pressed glitters in it. I don't love the pressed glitters, so yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Because I'm looking at this and I don't feel particularly inspired. Like, I love having it just like sitting there, and they look so cute together, and I love that little pop of orange. But I'm kind of hoping that they might make like a super peachy palette like this, because I love peach. Do they have a peach palette like this? Hold up. Now I need to go check. Yeah, they do have a peach 9-pan palette, which I would be a lot more inclined to use. I like didn't even remember it because they released so much makeup. So if I ever was super desperately missing that pop of orange on my vanity, I could get that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this aside and do like a giveaway, grab bag giveaway sort of thing eventually. This one is like the only exception to the pressed glitters that I absolutely hate. I don't like the pressed glitter in here, but I like the palette, so I tolerate it. I think this one's so cute and fun, and I'm totally gonna use this a ton in the spring. Yes Please palette, their OG eyeshadow palette, I am 100% keeping. I think I Love You palette, mine is so loved. It's so funny. This was the first palette I ever got from them, and when they announced it, I was like, oh, this is so boring. Who would want this? And it's like obviously one of my most beaten up palettes. Like, there are big divots in most of these shadows. Definitely keeping this. I wish they still made this. I feel like this is like, they have like a bunch of warm toned 12-pan palettes now, but they don't really have just like a true neutral 12-pan palette anymore. Dream Street palette. Okay, so I talked about this during Throwback Thanksgiving week, how I like, this is my least reached for ColourPop palette. And I went back and I watched last year's Declutter video, and I was like, yeah, I got this a couple months ago and I literally haven't used it, but I'm gonna use it more this year, and that didn't happen. So I feel like because I have not used this for like over a year straight now, I literally have used it on camera twice, and that's all that I've used it for. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of it. My Little Pony and ColourPop. Honestly, like, I don't use this, but I think it's so cute. Like, I cannot bring myself to get rid of it, and it's like so dumb because they have so many limited edition palettes that like you can't just hold on to all of them because they're limited edition, but like I just think this one is so cute. I'm just sitting and looking at Dream Street on my desk, and I'm like, I don't want to get rid of you. I'm gonna put this in a maybe pile, and you guys should let me know if I should keep this or not, if you want to see more looks with it, or if you don't care if I do looks with it. I feel indecisive about getting rid of it, even though it's really not a very loved palette of mine. And I'm literally leaving tomorrow for Christmas break, so I'm not gonna be able to like sell or donate any of these before then anyways, so we'll decide when I get back officially. Let me know down below about this one. Sweet Talk palette, definitely keeping. Again, they have those annoying ass glitters in there, but this is just such a beautiful palette. I love the peachy tones in here. Definitely keeping. You Had Me at Hello, definitely keeping. I think this is such a gorgeous palette. I feel like this was like one of their most underrated palettes. We're having like a tower collapse over here. I feel like this is one of their most underrated palettes. I feel like this is one that I should do looks with more, but I don't even know if anyone like owns this, but I feel like it's so pretty. Let's look at some face palettes. Let's switch it up over here. This is the e.l.f. blush palette that I can't get open. Oh wait, where is my actual e.l.f. blush palette? I'm so confused. What? This is like my contour. What? I'm literally so confused right now. This was my sister's, and she said I could have it, and I just like swapped out this blush with like one of the contour shades to make like my perfect little palette. So I'm probably gonna like bring this back home But now I really don't know where my blush palette is, and I'm really confused. Okie dokie. My Anastasia blush kits, definitely keeping. These are like, I don't reach for these super often because like I have the rest of my blushes in a drawer and these don't really fit in there, but these really are gorgeous. And one of my subscribers actually sent me this one, so shout out to her. That was really sweet. I think these are just like nice to have. Like you really get like a whole range of blushes having these blush kits. Cover FX face palette. This came in a BoxyCharm like last year and I was so excited about it, and then just didn't really like, it's like the contour shade worked for me, but then the highlighting shades didn't work for me, and the blush just was like underwhelming. And this confuses me because it's like, if this contour shade works for you, these highlight shades aren't gonna work for you. So I'm really confused about the design of this, but I'm thinking like maybe somebody would want this because it is like a high-end product. Like the packaging is really nice and everything. It's just like, it doesn't really make sense to me as a palette, but getting rid of that. Oh, there's my e.l.f. blush palette. Here, see? So I swapped out the little contour shade for this, but definitely keeping this. I love this. I like literally made it into my perfect little blush contour bronzer palette. This is the Juvia's Place Saharan Blush Volume 2 palette. I got this because I like convinced myself I could make it work, but like to be honest, like these are products that aren't made for my skin tone, and that's fine. I was just like a dummy for getting them because I really like can go in and like tap once and have to spend like forever blending it out, and it's just way too much on my face. These two are like cute blush toppers, but like obviously you can see like most of this is untouched, and like I wanted to get it because they are really unique blush tones that I don't really have in my collection, but it's like I don't have them in my collection for a reason because they're not made for me. So I'm definitely gonna go ahead and get rid of this. I have accepted that this is not for me and this was a stupid thing to buy in the first place. This is my face singles palette, and you can see I love everything in here quite a bit. This is my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer from like, they did like some palette forever ago, and their highlight, this is such a pretty highlight, like look at that. And then these are my two Anastasia highlights from the Gleam Glow Kit. This is Mimosa and Starburst? No. Starburst and Crushed Pearl, that's what it is. These, obviously I love them, like look how hard those are panned. And then this is the ColourPop blush into the 10, and this is their bronzer, and I totally forget what it is, in Afternoon Delight. This is probably my least used thing in here. I'd really love if ColourPop did like a whole contour powder line, and I would totally replace this, but I love these products. This is my Single Shadow palette, which you have seen if you have watched any of my Single Shadow Sundays. As of now, I'm going to keep this as is. I actually just got another magnetic palette from Shop Miss A to put some more singles into. There are a couple in here that I don't love so much, but I just like how this looks as a whole. Like especially like this. These 12, like the purple section, how pretty is that? This is the Juvia's Place Masquerade palette. I adore this palette. I use it so often. It doesn't look like I use it so often because these pans are literally massive. I don't think that you could ever pan them in the human lifespan, but I absolutely love this palette. I'm 100% Flawless, the one palette. This was a gift from my sister and I really adore it. Such a good like staple neutral palette to have in your collection. I really like the formula, and I love the concept of the brand. They're all about clean ingredients, clean beauty, which I really love. Like they have such a like chic aesthetic for the company, and then they're like nice and clean. I feel like they really like go against the standard of what you like expect when you hear that a company is all about clean beauty. This is on my channel a lot because it is a really expensive palette, and I know it's not accessible to everyone, but I do absolutely adore this. Pinky Rose Bright Lights palette. This is a gift from my mama, and I'm definitely keeping this. I really like having it in my collection to have just like the whole rainbow is like nice bright shades. It's really good to reach for if you want a little pop of color, or like you're looking for a specific color. And I have done like whole looks with just this a couple of times too, but it is a little difficult to do just looks using just this with because it is so bright and colorful. But this is such a cute palette. I really like this brand. They come out with a lot of cute stuff. Sigma and Beauty Bird, the Dream palette. I don't know what the issue is. I got this and I literally used it twice. I saw it, and when they announced it, I fell in love with it. I thought it was so beautiful. I was like, I'm gonna use this all the time. I think I bought it like Black Friday or something last year, and it took forever to get here, and that might be part of it. I just like it already like stopped caring by the time it got to me. But like, I think it's like the only reason this even looks used is because this shade is so soft, and I stuck my finger in it so hard when I went to swatch it, but like it's practically unused. So I'm definitely gonna go ahead and pass this along. I don't know what the issue was. Like this looks like something I would love, and I just didn't. Like the couple of times I used it, I was so underwhelmed. And it's even like the packaging, like this is so me. I love white marble. But not everything is meant to be in me and this palette, or apparently not meant to be. BH Zodiac palette. Love this palette. I think it's incredible. So beautiful. I don't even like baked shadows, and I'm obsessed with these baked shadows, so I'm definitely keeping this. Anastasia and Jackie Aina palette. It's so funny because this was one that I was totally not gonna get, because I've just been a little like, everything I've got from Anastasia lately I haven't like absolutely loved. Like I like the Norvina palette, but I haven't absolutely like loved it. And then I kept seeing people create these gorgeous looks with it, and I was like, maybe I do want it. And then Amy Loves Makeup said she like wasn't really inspired by it and was decluttering it, and she sold it to me, and I adore this, so I'm definitely keeping this. However, the Riviera palette is one that I thought I was gonna love and didn't. I got this over spring break this year, and I thought it was gonna inspire me to create looks, and I used it like a couple of times. I never liked how my looks turned out. I don't know what the deal is, but I did not like this palette. It looks so destroyed because the shades are so soft, but I really have only used this twice, so I'm not keeping this. Like, see, the brush is still just in there, completely intact. Tarteist Pro, another gift from my mom. I absolutely adore this palette. This is like one of the best eyeshadow palettes ever made, in my humble opinion. This walked so the Tati palette could run. Like, look, all of those rows just perfectly laid out. This is such a good palette. I absolutely love this palette. Bad Habit Beauty Pretty Poison palette. I got this because I was so excited about it because it's purple and I like purples. And then I was going to do tutorials with it, and then like every time I did a look with it, for some reason it didn't turn out, and I was like, whatever, we'll come back to that later. And then Bad Habit Beauty went out of business or something. I don't really know what the deal was. And then I never did a video with it because I like to do videos on stuff that you guys have or can at least get. And then yeah, so I'm passing this along. I have the Alma palette now, which is like a bajillion times better than this. This is one where I really wanted to and thought I was gonna love it, and I just didn't. So yeah, RIP Bad Habit Beauty. We had some fun times together, and you are now gone from my life. This e.l.f. compact, this was like one of their freebies, and honestly sometimes like I don't love how they just throw freebies in with your stuff, because it's always like stuff that like just isn't selling well, and I tend to like not like it. So I'm gonna see if I can find a home for this, but like probably not, because it's just like one of their like little $3 free thingies. Violet Voss Holy Grail palette. This came in a BoxyCharm. It's one of those that I really thought I was gonna love, and the formula is like decent, but it's not like, the mattes are good, but the shimmers really are a little underwhelming for me. I'm very picky about my shimmers, so I don't really reach for this very much, and I feel like this is one that I could find a home for that will love it more. Like, I just have neutral palettes that I love way more than this, so this is not one that I feel like I'm gonna reach for at all, and someone else will probably love it. Then this is one that I don't want to get rid of. This is the BH Cosmetics Carly Bible Deluxe palette. I had some very good times with this palette. This was like one of my first eyeshadow palettes after like Modern Renaissance and the Naked 2. But I used it a couple weeks ago, and it's like the shadows have just gone bad because this is like 2.5, almost 3 years old at this point, I think. And this is kind of why I got the Bare Necessities palette too, was to replace this, and it definitely like does the job for that. I still think this is like the best highlighter of all time. I might like pop this highlighter out because this is still soft and gorgeous. It's just like the mattes that have gone like dry and hard panny. I might like pop that out and put it in my little Z palette, but unfortunately she has to retire. This is like a little ColourPop 4-pan palette. If you remember when they made these, let me know. This was back in like the early days of their brand. You could just like pick the singles that went in here and like make your own palette. I don't reach for this just because of the layout of it, and I picked like random things that don't go together, but what I might do is like swap out some of the single shadows that I don't really like very much and replace them with some of the ones from here, and then get rid of like the actual palette. The e.l.f. Mad for Matte Holy Smokes palette. I don't love e.l.f.'s shadow formula. I've never tried one of their palettes and been blown away, and this is not the exception. And I watched last year's Declutter too, just to like keep myself in check, and I was like, oh, like I want to keep this just to have it to use for like one brand tutorials. That's kind of a dumb reason to use it, and I don't even have like a full face of stuff from e.l.f. So I am gonna go ahead and get rid of this. It's been a year. I have literally not used it in a year. It was only $10. I can let it go. Alright, this is everything organized now. It's definitely a much easier fit, and I like how this is organized. I get these little things off of Amazon. If they still make them, I'll link them down below, but I got them like literally forever ago. So overall, I decluttered 12 palettes, which I feel like is pretty good. I found 12 things that were inspiring me and made my collection a little more cohesive and concise. This right here is kind of inspiring me. That green and that black and that yellow are making me think of the Slytherin and Hufflepuff Hogwarts houses. I'm a total dork, and I kind of want to do like a Hogwarts house themed tutorial now. If there are any of these palettes that you would like to see tutorials with, definitely let me know down below. I am always taking requests, and I want to make sure that I make videos that you guys like to see. So if any of these strike your fancy, definitely let me know down below. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this eyeshadow palette declutter. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't, and you just are one of those people who really loves declutter videos, because I know there are a lot of y'all out there, you should totally check out last year's declutter as well. My cat is in it, and she's super freaking adorable. But thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye guys!